Hey guys, it's Haley, and I'm back. I have an update. I want to let you guys know what's going on with the channel. I've also just opened another channel, and let you know why I was gone and kind of what's been going on with me. So, first off, yes, I took my nails off, and excuse me, I just wanted to give my nails a break. Sorry, the hiccups. Gotta take a drink of coffee. And I am going to be putting the acrylics back on. I need to get some new monomer, yada yada. Also, I hope you guys can tell the lighting is different. I bought two of those, like the soft light, the outdoor lighting sort of things that are they're supposed to be a lot better. Let's see. This is a paper pad. Does it look more colorful? I guess using a plain colored one isn't the best idea. I don't know. So yeah, I hope that looks good. Also on my other channel, I'll be doing a lot more, I want to delve into kind of more of, obviously I'm going to be doing more, like all my clothing hauls will be on there, more stuff about my nails, makeup. I actually recently signed up for Ipsy, which I got my first bag and I'm actually really impressed with. So anyway, and kind of go into my thought process and things that I like. I've always been really interested in like psychology and psychiatry, and in the last 5 years I really got into it, dealing with kind of family situations and things like that. A couple years ago, I helped a girl write her thesis she was writing up her thesis and submitting it to the for a medical journal, and she was writing it on kind of my family dynamics around one of my family members, sort of from my perspective, and then she and some of her fellow students did a lot of kind of background research on that and things like that. So I also kind of want to, just so you guys can get to know where I'm coming from, why I am the way I am, I guess. And, you guys all know I'm very giving. A lot of times I am kind of a pushover. I'll give anyone a chance, sometimes 2 or 3. And, when I had the swap going on, I just kind of let things happen over and over. But that wasn't a huge deal to me. You know what I mean? That's not like life or death. No one's robbing my house. No one's, assassinating my character. I kind of let things like that go, which can be a good or bad thing. But one thing that is definitely my line in the sand that I won't tolerate is people lying about me. And that stems from also sort of family dynamics. My particular family member, I think just lies about everything, but specifically me. I think it was a preemptive thing, like, oh, if I make up all these ridiculous lies about her, then she's discredited, and anything that she has, anything that I've ever done, no one's gonna believe her, kind of thing. I don't know. I don't really understand it fully. So yes, and that's why that's kind of like my button, like, don't lie about me, because I will A, prove you wrong, and B, it's just gonna make me mad. And anyway, so that's kind of things about me. Where I've been. So I've recorded this a couple times and I don't want to cry anymore about it. So it was kind of sudden, kind of not. Well, it was pretty sudden, the situation that happened. So my grandfather, my dad's dad, passed away June 14th. Excuse me. So, and obviously that's very upsetting because he's my grandpa and I was very close to him. But also, excuse me, he was kind of the voice of reason in our family and was a huge support for my dad, and for me. And, yeah, it was very apparent because he had, Alzheimer's and dementia. And as he started, I guess the disease started getting worse, and to other people were not taking his opinion as seriously. He was not the be-all, end-all anymore. Then things just got completely progressively worse in my immediate family on my dad's side. So that's also why it was really upsetting. I have not, until I tell you the whole story, I just won't get into it really now. But, so, obviously I've started, have I said this yet? I've filmed this 3 times. I have this channel. It is now called Halie's Crafts. And then my other channel is called Halie's Life. And, I want to, do all kinds of stuff on that channel. I still will continue on this channel with crafting. I want to start making up a bunch of, kits and packages. And because that's what I love to make anyway, like mini kits and things, and start selling them. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I want to do, but yeah. So that is what happened. He was in a home. He, basically they had him in a wheelchair, didn't lock the wheel, and he was thrown out, broke his rib. So, and he has had COPD for a major part of his adult life. Since before I was born. He worked for a while scraping asbestos out of cooling towers. And of course, before, people didn't know the serious effects on the respiratory system and cancer-causing agents, etc. So he always had severe COPD. And when he broke his ribs, he wasn't able to cough up all the junk. Then on the day he passed, he was being fed a protein shake. And I know those people get frustrated, and they were just trying to, get him fed and get to the next person, but he ended up choking and inhaling a lot of it. And it took them, which, by the way, when he broke his rib, they didn't notice. A couple days later, my dad was like, it's obvious his rib is broken. And another day or 2 later, they brought in a portable x-ray machine and found that. Then they also, once he started choking, it took them like 2.5 hours to essentially get this like medical vacuum with this little tube to suck all the fluid out. And there was like a canister, on the side that holds all the fluid and stuff. It's like this big around. It was full, this much of fluid from his lungs. And most of it was freaking chocolate protein shake, whatever, Ensure. So anyway, that happened at dinner time on Tuesday. My dad called me and let me know, and 2 hours later, he was letting me know, the severity of the situation, because at that point, they still hadn't gotten the stupid vacuum. They did get it out. I got down there about 9 o'clock, and he progressively got better breathing throughout the night. By the morning, he was breathing almost completely normally, and he wasn't on any sort of oxygen that whole time or anything like that. And I stayed up the entire night. I was the only one that stayed up all night. My dad and my uncle and my real grandma came up there, and they were just exhausted emotionally, physically, and so my dad napped in the chair in the room, and my uncle went out to the car and napped, and my poor grandma, she came about midnight, which I'm glad she did. If she had missed her opportunity to see him, my real grandma and my pop, they met very young. She was like 12 and he was 17, and they went on their first little date when she was like 15. They went to the carnival with her group of little friends, and she ended up getting married. They got married when she was a senior in high school, and she never really fell out of love with him, if that makes sense. So it was really sad. Let's see. She never got remarried. She had a fiance, there was a man she was with for 30 years, that really nice guy, really great, you know, really great to her, but she was like, you know, when I took vows, that was like, that's what I meant. And so anyway, it was really sad for my grandma. She stayed till about 4. I stayed till 6, and then I drove back to Tulsa at 6 in the morning. My dad left and came back around lunchtime, and he still seemed to be getting better. You know, throughout the night, he would kind of try and say stuff and, you know, get more excited if you were, you know, gave him something to drink. He'd put his mouth around it like it was a straw or, you know, whatever. And when my real grandma came in was the only time he said something like audible, like that you could understand, not audible, that was clear enough to hear, you know, what he was trying to say. So anyway, my dad came back around noon, sat with him and talked to him for a little bit. And kind of all of a sudden, he took a few more breaths and just died. So, anyway, that's why I had been gone. Obviously, I was very upset. There was the viewing that Friday, and then we waited a couple weeks because my uncle, my real uncle Wes, my dad's brother, his daughter was on, I believe it was, she was in Thailand on a mission trip. They're very involved in their church, very, very, very involved. And, you know, my cousins are really, really, really great kids, really great kids. She, I believe, is about to graduate college and wants to be a missionary and teach English overseas. Anyway, we were waiting on her, so for the funeral, because obviously, you know, my dad was like, if it was one of you girls out of town, I would want them to wait to have the funeral. And so I was like, yeah, I agree. So they had the funeral on June 27th. And also, you know, my grandpa just kind of kept everybody together. So, hold on. A lot of people came out. He did, you know, he did a lot of good things. He was a missionary for years. They hosted foreign exchange students from Taiwan, and, you know, one of them especially, like, called his wife Mom, and, you know, was very close to her throughout, you know, is still close with her. Before he got sick, he did a lot of work, worked with male prisoners just getting out of prison, helping them find, you know, an appropriate place to live, things like that, and was very involved in our church that we grew up with, you know, just all kinds of things. So a lot of people came. It was really good. And yeah, so I actually read something at the funeral, which I don't want to read that, but I went ahead, I just, you know, got some nice paper, nice font, and printed these out, his obituary and what I read at the funeral. And I'm going to do this in a separate video, because this is happy, good stuff. My dad wrote a comic book, and I want to let you guys know all about that. So, anyway, that's why I was gone. I know this is really rambly. I'm getting, you know, getting used to filming again. I hope you guys, you know, understood what I was trying to say. I'm sorry I was gone. I was not doing well, to say the least. And, you know, it's now, you know, time to readjust and figure out, you know, what we're going to do moving forward. And, how to fix things without the fixer, if that makes sense. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble. You know, I'm excited to get some videos out. I have had packages just sitting there. One of them's just like done. Another one's almost done. I have another one halfway done. And so I have things to film. And I hope you guys will be interested in my other channel. If you're not, totally understand. That's why I'm putting it on a separate channel. That way, you know, a lot of people are here just for the just for the crafts, and that way I can do, you know, clothing, nail things, whatever, on another channel, and people can just be here for the crafts. So, thanks for listening to me ramble. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and sticking around. I gained like another 150 subscribers while I was gone, which is crazy. So, thank you all for supporting me. You know, I know I don't talk a lot about, you know, subscribing and numbers, and that's because I don't really look at them that much. I know that sounds bad. It's not that I don't care. I'm very grateful and thankful, but I do this for fun, and I do it because, you know, I love all the people that I've met, and, yeah, but I want to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel, and, you know, when you guys like my videos, I really do appreciate that. And I'm going to make sure to make it a point to pay attention to that more and thank people more and things like that. So thank you all so much again, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.